Hi everyone, this is Matt. Welcome to this video called How to Find a Casual Job in Australia. So I decided to shoot this video because I'm a skilled immigrant and I'm an environmental engineer, and I migrated to Australia 5 years ago. And I did a mistake that I see a lot of people are doing. I thought that I would easily find a job because I thought I was smart, and then I had really good qualifications and experience from the overseas. I said, yeah, I know people are struggling, but I'm different, I'm very smart, I'll do it myself. And I wasn't correct, I wasn't ready actually, and I was wrong. And basically what I did, I started sending out applications and started getting rejected and then not hearing from most of my applications, and I started running out of cash. I wasted 2 months like that, and then I saw my bank account was going low and low, and I reached a point saying, hey man, I need a job, otherwise I won't be able to sustain my life. And then I rushed into the casual job search with panic, and I'll be basically explaining you some of the strategies I used in this video. So before moving on to that, I want to emphasize the importance of being able to find casual jobs in Australia, even if you have some cash reserves. You know what I mean? Like, you may be in a situation that you actually immediately need to find a job. That's fine. This video will definitely help you. If that's not the case with you, if you're, for example, planning to move to Australia, or maybe you just moved to Australia and you have some cash reserves. I think I had $12,000 with cash when I first came here, and half of it I bought a car, and the other half basically was consumed quickly in 2 months. So maybe if you're in that situation, if you think, oh yeah, I probably be able to find a qualified job pretty soon, I want to make sure you have this reality check. If you haven't been through that job search phase, if you really don't know how to apply and get qualified jobs in Australia, if you don't have an Australian CV and cover letter, if you haven't practiced your interview skills, and if you don't yet know how to sell yourself in interviews, and not only sell yourself, if you don't know yet how to sell yourself to Australians in interviews, so that's a different thing. Australia is a pretty different culture, and also workplace culture as well, and it's an employee-based market, but it works differently. If you don't know how things work, you probably will face some friction and may end up in a similar situation that I did. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to be the case for you, but it was definitely the case for me. So in any case, long story short, being able to find a good casual job in Australia gives you really good confidence, and even if you're already employed full-time in a, let's say, even in a corporate, one day you may become redundant, and then a crisis situation may happen as well. If you have found and secured a casual job in Australia, you'll have much better confidence compared to the people who actually never done a casual job in Australia. So I can count you so many reasons about why you should be able to find a casual job and work casually as well in Australia as a skilled immigrant. Another reason would be many people who grow up here, it's the minimum wage is really high, and it's very common and usual to just, whenever you need cash, just do some sort of a casual job. And everyone has different casual jobs that they did in the past, and that's their fallback plan. And for example, I'll give an example from me. My first casual job was selling suits in Adelaide. That was giving me $14 an hour. So it wasn't enough for me to sustain my life. So I found a better casual job, and in this video I'll actually be teaching you how to find a good casual job. Not only a casual job, I'll show you how to find a good casual job, so you can basically get good money in transaction with your time. So my second casual job was a fish and chips job. It was a great business. I really enjoyed it, and I love fish, and that's important, by the way. That was something I really love, and so I worked there only a few weeks, because then I found a full-time qualified job. But if I didn't have that casual job, probably me to find that qualified job would take even longer than that, because that good qualified job gave me like such a good headspace. I was able to like work 20 hours a week, and I was making more money than I needed to sustain my life. I even was able to like save just tiny little bit of money as well. But more important than that, I was able to like spend 40 hours a week just for my job search and career development. So it is crucial, like if you're in the beginning of your journey, if you haven't started applying yet, I really recommend you to like spend some time, like go and apply the concepts that I'm about to talk about in this video, and get yourself a casual job first, a good one. And do like maybe 10 hours a week, like 20 hours a week, that's fine. Just do tiny little bit, so that also helps you to like socialize with people, going out of home, like you have a reason to go outside of your home, because when you're new here, like everything outside is really foreign to you, so you need to basically harmonize with the society as well. So that's a really good excuse to leave your home too, and it gives you like really good energy. It gave me that, and yeah. So all right, that's enough for the importance of why you should find a casual job in Australia first before moving on to full-time qualified job search. So let's start with how to find a casual job in Australia. Rule number one, and that's the most effective way to find a casual job in Australia. Make a list of people, all the people that you know in Australia. So go check your Facebook friends living in the same city with you, check your like mobile phone contacts, write down every single person, and then just call them one by one. Call everyone and let them know that you need cash and you're looking for a casual job as soon as possible. Just tell them that you're in the survival mode, and you'll be surprised like how many people will be just running into aid to help you. Some people may say at this instance like, hey Mert, yeah, but I'm new here, I don't know anyone. That's why you need to start meeting with people from your day one. So let's say you aren't in Australia yet and planning your trip. I'll give you massive tips now to make Australian friends. What you need to do is check Airbnb and find an Airbnb run by Australians. So I had a host from South Australia. Her name is Pamela. She actually welcomed me to her Airbnb, and there was other skilled immigrants as well trying to settle. So that was an awesome place to both for me to get to know some Australians, Pamela and her friends, and then also like other fellow skilled immigrants as well. So, and then I was also talking to a couple, was an Australian and American couple. So, and then I moved to their house as a housemate. So sharing house with Australians, you get to know so many Australian people straight away, and then you can just expand your network like that. And in my list, the list of network in Australia included like a handful of people, but those handful of people helped me heaps. Like another person really helped me. She actually helped me to find my favorite casual job, the fish and chips job. Her name is Gülten. I met her through Facebook. So Facebook is a great networking tool, obviously. So she was running the Turkish Australians in South Australia Facebook group. She's an Aussie Turk, so that's another thing. Like if you can find people from your country of origin and maybe like they were born and raised here, try to make friends with them as well, so they get a bit of from your culture too, because you're directly coming from the country, and then you also get some exposure to Australian culture through them. She actually she was on my list, and I called, hey Gülten, I'm running out of cash, I'm panicking, just help me please to find a qualified job. And it was one of her friends who helped me there. So just do the same. And another thing to expand your network in Australia when you first came is through hobbies. So if you have hobbies from the overseas, that's definitely a great investment. I used to do jiu-jitsu, and then hopefully I'm gonna get back one day, but I'm taking a break now. Anyways, this is to my jiu-jitsu friends. They were like, oh Mert, where are you? Like, yeah, so I gave a big break. But anyways, I was a huge fan of jiu-jitsu, and when I first came, I just joined the jiu-jitsu club. I made heaps of jiu-jitsu friends, and then and some of them also like asked me, like I was telling them as well, hey, I need a job, and a couple of them told me like, oh, we need construction workers in this area and everything, and that overlapped with the time that I found the fish and chips job. So so that's the other networking tip in Australia. So yeah, that's the rule number one: expand your network starting from day one and never stop expanding it. And also like just tell people, like everyone you know, that you're looking for a casual job. So that's rule number one. All right, so rule number two: make a list of businesses that you love in the neighborhood, and basically like that brings you far ahead. Like I see a lot of people just running into every business and saying, oh, I'm looking for a job, here is my resume, hire me. So that's not how you approach to a business, okay? So you need to have a genuine interest towards the business, so that, because when you approach them, they'll think, is this person first going to help us make more money, and second, are they gonna stay here? Are they here to just make some bucks and then leave like next week? They don't want that, because there's an adaptation period. When you just work with them, they will need to see you that actually you're adapting, and then they'll probably start making money out of you in maybe like a couple of weeks time. But if in a couple of weeks time you'll be gone, why would they hire you? That's why you don't give them your engineering resume. So that's another thing. So you give them a relevant resume. If it's if you are applying for a cook job, your CV must basically talk about like the dishes you can prepare, the things you can do in the kitchen, so that like when they look at it, they're like, okay, this person is suitable, they will be able to do this job. So that's another thing. So as I said, like approach the businesses that you love. I'll give you more tips on that. Basically become a customer first. That like a lot of people make this mistake. They go there and they just start demanding things. No, man, you must give first before you take. So if it's a like awesome burger shop that you want to work at, just go there, have some meals, just familiarize yourself with the stuff, and introduce yourself, and then so that they get to know you too. So that's another thing. And another mistake people make is they approach to the business in their like busiest time. So you shouldn't do that. You should find a quiet time, and you should also approach to the manager. So that's another mistake. People go and approach the employees. Employees don't want other people coming and taking their shifts, you know what I mean? So you need to go to the manager. And if you just directly go to a manager in a time that's quiet, let's say in the afternoon before they close down, like don't go there in the lunchtime where it's really hectic and no one even have any time that they can like lift up their head. So if you go mid-afternoon, like if it's let's say a cafe or something like that, mid-afternoon will be okay, mid-morning will be okay, where like, because I remember when I was doing fish and chips, up around like 4 or 5 p.m. everyone was rushing into the place, and people were just like making so many orders, and when you're like that, you can't even like lift your head up. So like if you approach the manager like at that time, they'll be like, come on man, have some common sense, you know what I mean? So come later, and then they'll just send you off. And yeah, so you don't have to make that mistake. Now you have the tip, go at a suitable time. And also write down on a piece, get a pen and paper, and I'll actually show you like draw 3 circles. Just a second, I'll show you those 3 circles. Do this. So first circle, businesses that you love. Actually, businesses in your neighborhood that you love. In your neighborhood. Alright. I'll put a heart on that so that you understand the importance of love. And then your skills. Your skills that made you money in the past, or basically the things that you learned, like for example, like if you already cook in your own kitchen, yeah, it may require some adaptation to be a cook commercially, but I mean, you still have the skills, you know what I mean? Like, for example, when I first started the casual job at Fish and Chips, that was my first professional fish and chip job. But fishing is my passion, so I knew at least like how to clean up fish and how to cook fish as well. So I adapted there relatively easier. And then I was also like sometimes cooking fish for myself, thanks to my awesome boss. He was letting me, like, he was giving me a discount actually on that. But yeah, so find something you love, so you go there and you get good energy, you know what I mean? I worked, and you don't want a like bad casual job that you think like, why I'm here, I'm working like 50, 60 hours, getting like $10 an hour. You're basically like getting yourself used, and then it's just sucking the life out of you. So if that's your first option, yeah, of course, like you want to survive first, right? Go there, and then, but once you find another branch, so hold that branch, and then you can let this one go. You know what I mean? Like bad casual job, let it go away, and hold on to the good casual job. Like I don't recommend just quitting jobs before finding anything else. Like you want security. You know what I mean? Like think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first layer is survival. Like basically food, food and survival. First two layers. So yeah. Definitely like survive first, and then establish comfort, get a good casual job. So hold one branch that's maybe not very stable. When you hold the better one, just let this one go so that you have enough time and space to focus on your qualified job search. Anyways, getting back to this, skills you have. And here people really underestimate their skills. Sometimes people are really too humble. Really think about every single thing you are able to do. You know what I mean? Like people would tell me like, hey Mert, like we never saw you cooking anything. You know what I mean? But whenever we caught fish, we cooked that at least. You know what I mean? And then I was able to at least like offer a trial shift to my boss, and I had the personal connection through the friend. So he actually let me in, and he taught me the rest. You know what I mean? You need to find those amazing people. They even paid for my superannuation when I was there. So yeah, so write down the skills you have, and then I'll draw the third circle, and that's your passions, the things that you're deeply passionate about. So this is basically like businesses in your neighborhood that you love, so that already has a bit of love in it. And then your passions, the things that motivate you intrinsically, like the things that you could even do for free. Like I tell you, like jiu-jitsu was one of my passions, but that's actually a passion of so many people. So like making money through jiu-jitsu, I could have done it, but I decided to be more like a student when I first came to Australia as well. And there wasn't really much job opportunities for me as a stranger BJJ athlete. Like I could have made some money out of it, but yeah. Long story short, but fishing was one of my passions, and then I already knew how to like clean up fish and then cook fish. And then there was a fish and chips shop in Adelaide. It wasn't actually exactly in my neighborhood. When I say neighborhood, yeah, like you want it to be convenient for you. And Adelaide is a small place. I was just like cycling there. So yeah, just try to like match these three things up, and whatever is in the center will be your favorite casual job. You know what I mean? Like at the moment, like if you're in a crappy casual job, I highly recommend you to go home and do an exercise like this. Go home and do this exercise, and it will really help you. And use Google Maps to find discover the businesses around you, and also go outside, cycle around, talk to people. You know what I mean? Like I know you need to save money as well, but when you find those businesses you love, go and eat there, and then see have some chat with people, invest in your hobbies, so you expand your network. And I think I went through almost everything that you need to know about how to find your casual job as well. I also another one, I must tell you this too. Never ever hand people over like engineering CVs or like irrelevant CVs. That will basically give them a reason to not to hire you. I'll tell you a story like this, really funny. How I failed to get a mushroom picking job in Adelaide. So I think that can be a separate video as well, but anyways, I'm gonna talk about it. I love this story. Before I first moved to Australia, one of my friends, he's a French friend, he told me look, if you can't find any job, go to this mushroom facility in Adelaide, and apparently they hire anything breathing. And I'm like, anything breathing? Yeah, he's like, all the backpackers and everything who can't find a job, they go there. And I was like, yeah man, I can breathe, that's fine. I love mushrooms as well. I don't know, I love nature, and I find it quite fascinating, just one spore falling on the soil and then a mushroom popping up almost overnight. I even had a bit of love against mushrooms. Anyways, so yeah, he said they hire anything breathing. I'm like, that's awesome, I want to go and do some mushroom picking. And they were paying good money as well. So what I did, basically, I jumped into my car, and then it was 1.5 hours away from the city, and I was ready to do that float, because I was so desperate. I was so drained in my bank account was really going low, and in the first time of my life, I was in the edge of really not being able to sustain my life. And I really, at that time, it wasn't very pleasing, but now I really appreciate that experience. I really appreciate being in that situation. That actually lighted up my fire straight away. And I realized at that point, any job search before I did that was actually just loss of time. I was just dreaming. It was just stagnant. I didn't know how to find qualified job in Australia, but I was just sending out applications thinking that someone is gonna fall in love with me and just hire me into a position. Someone's gonna say, this guy is very smart, excellent degrees, high GPA, whatever, let's hire him and start paying him. It doesn't work like that. You need to demonstrate value. Anyway, so that's a different subject. Back to mushroom picking. So I went there with my engineering resume, and I entered the office. I literally knocked their door because I sent an application. They didn't get back to me, so I went there to just be face to face. And then I submitted my resume, and they looked at my resume and said, "You are an engineer. We can't hire you into this position. You are overqualified." And then I'm like, "No, I'm I want to pick up mushrooms. I'm here, and what you gonna say there? You know what I mean?" And they say, "Hey, look, okay, that's fine. If you want to pick mushrooms, we'll consider it and we'll get back to you. Thanks for coming all the way here." And they were really nice. I'm like, yeah, maybe they will call me and everything. And then they next week, they totally ghosted out. And then I'm like, oh shit, I failed to get the job that people was telling that they hire anything breathing. And then when I tell this to my Aussie friends, actually one of them told me, it was like, "Hey man, come on, you just go there and breathe, and then they hire you." That was really funny. So yeah, we still laugh about it. Anyways, that's how I failed to get a mushroom picking job. Alright, one important thing I need to add. I just grabbed my Turkish coffee to talk about this. I know some people now will say, oh yeah, Mert, that's nice, now we understood, like we made a list of the businesses that we love, and then we talked about all of our friends, now we have people that we need to go and talk to. But how are we going to approach the manager? So as I said, make sure it's a quiet time and make sure you find the manager. Like if there are employees, just ask them, hey guys, how are you? When is your manager is going to be around? I need to talk to them, something about business. And then just learn when their manager comes there, and just gauge how to reach them. If the manager is already there, that's awesome. So I'll tell you how to talk to them as well. So here are your introduction scripts. Cool. I get my energy from Turkish coffee. Alright, acting mode. Hey guys, I love your business. At the moment I'm looking for a casual job, and I'm really interested in working as a fish and chips cook. I love fish, and I love eating fish as well. And I would love to do a trial shift with you guys, and I've been eating here for in the past a couple of weeks as well. I really would love to be part of your business. Is there any vacancies at the moment? Would you be able to invite me for a casual shift to see to help me demonstrate to you my skills and how I can add value to your business? And you see, I come in with a enthusiastic and positive attitude. I'm not a total stranger coming there and say, oh, I'm looking for a job, here is my resume, give me a job. No one wants to hire someone like that, you know what I mean? You're there, you're casual, Australians love casual people. You're smiling, that's another thing, smile. I see a lot of people oh, I am a very good cook and I am looking for jobs, here is my engineering resume. That's how not to get a casual job, you know what I mean? And if you have a stack of resumes, you're like that, people will be this person's just after money, you know what I mean? And you can maybe go visit 200 businesses, and then one of them will be yeah, we have a knock on the door sales position, you work with a contract, come and work if you want to, and you work with grumpy people and you don't get good energy and everything, you're wasting your time and energy there, you know what I mean? So get positive vibes, that's very important. You give positive vibes to life, and life gives positive vibes to you back. So that's not only finding a casual job, that's for almost everything. So yeah, if you're actively applying for qualified jobs too, maybe you already got your casual job, that's awesome. I dropped down a link, it's fully free training you can watch. Alright guys, that was one of the most crucial parts, so I added this. I'll continue drinking my Turkish coffee while you're subscribing and liking this video, and then I will see you in the next one. Cheers.